Hello, swivel heads. Are we ready for war? I think not, but ready or not, here it comes, it seems, because Israel has attacked an Iranian embassy in Syria. An embassy is national territory of the country that has the embassy. So this is serious. It's been rumored that 2 to 3 generals were taken out in this and a lot of the top staff. I'm going to show you some articles on that. And we have tornado threats right here in the United States from Tennessee Valley in Alabama. Yeah, that's what the Tennessee Valley is. All on up through Indiana and Ohio tomorrow afternoon. It's not looking pretty. It's a setup similar to what we had in 1974. But there's a whole lot to talk about war. I will cover the weather part toward the end, as when I usually talk weather stuff. But just want you to be weather aware tomorrow. All up and down the eastern part of the country, you need to be aware. For tornado threats, you need to be listening to your local news service or Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube. That's a good channel to watch for this kind of stuff. So we're going to get into this. There's been some conflicted reports. I've seen New York Times said 3 generals, but everything else I've seen says 2 brigadier generals. So this is serious. Iran has vowed revenge. What does that mean? And are we ready for this? I think not, but we're into it, guys. It's getting thicker every day. It's just like one shoe drops after another. So let's go straight to the articles. We're going to cover the news part first, and then we will go into the chat toward the end, but maybe not too much because it is really late tonight. So I almost didn't do this tonight, but with the tornado threats, I thought I really needed to come on here. And with this stuff being as serious as it is, now this says it guards like National Guard units. It's the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that they're talking about here. So this is a critical thing, guys. A lot of senior staff. There's actually, I saw reports of 11 lives taken here. So these reports, I guess the dust is not all cleared yet. This took place Monday, and we're just about 3 hours past Monday, my time here. You can see it was a daylight event. There were 6 missiles fired from an Israeli F-35. So they meant to take this building out, and they destroyed it completely. So this is what this stuff has said. Israel will not comment on the attack. Iranian officials vowed a stiff response and with fears for even further loss from Israel and Iran of this Gaza war. So who we know was taken out was Brigadier General Mohammed. Stop. The top general, Brigadier General Mohammed Reza Zahedi, and then a Brigadier General Mohammed Hadi Haj Rahimi. So I believe this first one was a top one. I've only seen 2 generals named. Most articles are saying 2 generals, although, like I said, the New York Times claimed 3. I've not seen the names on them. But this is this building right here. It's gone. They say everybody in it, according to one of the quotes, was killed and injured. Well, I guess if you're killed, you are injured by definition. So I don't know. I guess they meant or. But, language barriers, I get it. So they're comparing this. They said this, they had this big portrait there of Soleimani, who, Trump took out. So this is a very horrendous situation here. We see it over here in other articles. Iran vowed revenge. Again, 2 generals named here. So what's going to happen here? Too many things popping up here. So again, this is the commander, the senior commander of the Al-Quds force of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And why was he there in Syria? He was targeted. See, he's the Al-Quds force is a major force there for Iran. So they directly targeted him. They knew he was there. 6 missiles fired. The building completely taken out. It's quite a precision strike, as you can see that it specifically took that building out. So yeah, this has got Iran up in arms, and things can be expected just to escalate further. We are not going toward a path of peace here, guys. And yeah, by the way, as you might expect, Iran blames the United States I mean, no, it was a F-35 the Israelis ran. Of course, they're going to take revenge on the they'll take revenge on the Israelis, but they actually blamed the United States. I don't want to read all this stuff in detail. You're not supposed to do that. That'll give you a strike. But just to tell you what's in here. Yeah, 11 people were taken so far. Of course, they're still digging through that wreckage. They may find more. 8 Iranians, 2 Syrians, and 1 Lebanese. All of them fighters, none of them civilians, according to this report. So, F-35. So there you have it, guys. Expect further escalation. Israeli strike on the consulate. And again, this is just the same stuff all over again, just hashed a different way. This is Israel, which rarely acknowledges strikes against Iranian targets, said that no comment. No comment. So, yeah, we'll find it in the Jerusalem Post here. Says, now this was earlier. This is an article from earlier. Is Iran planning something big? Iraqi-based attacks on Israel raises alarms. Apparently, there was the Iranian proxy groups out of Iran have started launching directly into Israel drone attacks. And the Israelis were thinking this portended a bigger action from Iran. Well, if they weren't going to get one, they can expect one now, right? Hey, Stray Kitten, Alaska Soul, how you doing there? Appreciate all the links there. Shaggy. I don't know what that particular PayPal button does. Click it, see where that goes. Yeah, don't use that PayPal button, Shaggy. That don't work. You got to go to Green Greg's. That don't work. I don't know where that came from. I don't even know what that is. Go to my website. So Shaggy, I don't know what that button is. You're using the wrong button. It don't even work. You got to go to my website. I think that's why somebody said my website wasn't working. That it ain't. My website works. That one don't work. I don't know where that link comes from. Anyway, guys, so IEA warns of a Iraq-like scenario for Iran without transparency because the Iranians have blocked the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, out of Iran. They have no clue what the Iranians are doing in terms of nuclear development now. They're totally blocked. They have no clue. And so he's warning that that Iran might expect something like when Bush and company were triggered to hit Iraq because of a lack of transparency, because of Saddam was, posturing and that's what a strong man would want to do if they could. It's wrong. She always listed my website before. That's not it. That won't work. You got to go to my website. Anyway, pardon me, Morning Coffee Club guys. I'm just talking to my mods here. So guys, gold is going up. Look at this, guys. And with what we can expect with the dollar, with oil prices going up and everything else, I'm expecting further increases. So, the good thing here about Defy the Grid is if you find a better price from us, they will meet it or beat it. You can buy coins, bullion, rounds, or my favorite, the goldbacks. Check them out. It's gold in a small fungible amount. Like my piece here is 1,000th of a troy ounce, wherever it is. They usually keep here at the screen. Oh well, I'll say it right now. I won't waste any time on that. But if you go here, use the discount code Green Greg's. I've had someone say, Greg, I use your link. No, it's not my link. It's just the general website in this case. Some places I get a link, and sometimes it's just the general website. If it's general website, I have a discount code. Here, you got to use the discount code Green Greg's. They'll save you 1% off, and I get 1%. It's the lowest commission on anything I got, but this is a very popular thing, so that's why I'm showing you this, guys. Use the discount code Green Greg's. All right, guys. So here's more on that. Iran ramping up nuclear work, executing people more people during the Biden administration. NGO says, non-government organization. So you can see a correlation between U.S. policy and Islamic Republic escalation here. Like it was going down and now it's going back up. What changed at this time frame when it was going down and went back up? T-Man, was he driving it down? Did B-Man drive it up? I don't know. What do y'all think? So something strange going on there. But guys, here's the thing. Everybody says, well, the United States will just turn Iran into a plate of glass. At one time, that might have worked. But Iran has heard that quite a bit. And what they've done is they have built very extensive underground facilities and tunnels, hundreds of miles of underground tunnels, deep enough, not just that we can't find them, deep enough that they should be nuke proof, even strike proof, not just radiation proof, but strike proof, because they know we want to hit them. And this network of tunnels, you don't know where their stuff is. Now, there is video that the Iranian government has put out pretty frequently. They put out these videos pretty frequently of their generals and top staff going through these tunnels where there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of all kind of missiles, missile launchers, ICBMs, which is intercontinental ballistic missile, or whatever. They got their shorter range stuff there, and they've got jet fighters under these tunnels. They've got all kinds of stuff. So it might be that we just blast the heck out of them and then they just pop out and off they go. A lot of people talk about Israel maybe evoking their Samson option, which is where they just launch everything, bring the whole house down, and because they're in so much trouble, they just bring it all down, everybody else with them. And at one time, it was thought on the Samson option they were even targeting European capitals. I don't think that's the case, because they're going to target those that have the revenge, but they'll target those that have the direct capacity to hurt them most, I suppose. But what effect will it really have? Now, I think, those days that we could just strike Iran and take out their nuclear facilities may be over. So this shows these underground networks here. This is actually an ISIS website. I hope I don't get a bug attack for coming in here, but this gave the best examples I could find of what was there. I mean, this is a huge complex here. This is one we know of tunnels. Western tunnel entrances, eastern tunnel entrances. There's just a huge complex of tunnels here, guys. It is extensive. So this idea that we're just going to hit them and it'll be over. Iran's far too mountainous, and they have a huge military. It's not something we can just march into. It would make Afghanistan look like a Sunday school picnic, because they're far more armed, far bigger army, far bigger territory, and even more mountainous than Tehran. Not Tehran. Tehran's in Iran. I meant Afghanistan. I know what it is. I just spoke wrong. Tehran's the capital city of Iran. Iran, not Iran. Iran. All right. It's not Iran. It's Iran. Here. All right, guys. In the European theater, just to make it more interesting, the Finns are now, in addition to Poland, France have talked about putting troops directly into Ukraine. Well, now the Finns are talking about that they wouldn't rule out, possibly admit to putting troops into Ukraine. Wow. So, but, hey, there's nothing to fear. Well, of course, this is from the Russian side, talking about what NATO believes. Russian attack on NATO troops in Ukraine wouldn't trigger Article 5. And they put here, media, according to the media. German parliamentary experts have evaluated the implications of attacks on NATO troops in Ukraine. Of course, this means if the attack is only against Ukraine, troops there in Ukraine. Hey, Wise out, good to see you in the house. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're here. So, guys, check out, go to survivaltribenetwork.com and join our survival tribe. Wazal did a lot of work setting that up. And it's free, but not to her. She spent a lot of money on it, but it's free for you. Right now is the time to avail yourself of that. So, guys, Russia is saying that, hey, if F-16s are coming, those F-16s that we're sending over to Ukraine are based out of NATO nations because they're very finicky, and a lot of people think they will be based out of NATO nations, that they will attack any base that they come from. And they've put a few other prerequisites to attacking bases and other nations. And they threatened France if France sends troops to Ukraine. So if the nation proper of any of these guys sending troops or supplying aircraft from there gets attacked, that's Article 5, big time. So, yeah, we're slipping. We're on a slippery slope to WWIII. Hey, Pagan Prepper, how you doing? Guess I'm no longer. What happened? Well, I don't know. Was that on Ringrats? Here, we'll figure. Oh, it's YouTube is doing some odd things here. Not YouTube. Yeah, you are now, Pagan Prepper. Maybe that was over on Ringrats. I don't know. That's odd. So, anyway, guys, I'll pay more attention to the chat room after we get through the news here, guys. Putin is bringing up 150,000 more men conscription for service. And so he's growing his forces. He's got plans. The United States has been flying the RD-180s, our spy drones out there quite a bit around the Crimean Peninsula. It's thought that every time we do that, it's kind of a forerunner that there's about to be an attack, that Ukraine has something up their sleeves, that there'll be another Ukrainian attack on Russian facilities. And of course, that leads Russia to blaming the United States for this stuff, saying that we are involved. And well, we are. So, it's big news for that. What is this? Oh, yeah. Of course, now it's come out that this Havana syndrome was caused by Russians opposing. Well, most of us knew this all along about Havana syndrome. It's apparently where microwaves are causing health issues with people who are these embassies are just being bombarded by microwaves for some good period of time. And over time, it's having health issues with them. Hey, Pagan, how you doing? So that's like an act of war. So there's just all these things that are taking us toward more conflict. Nothing is going out the other way. Nothing is headed. There's no vectors right now headed toward peace. And that's a bad thing because we're not ready for war. I mean, war is a horrible thing in any way you slice it. I do not advocate it. But you got to defend yourselves. You absolutely have to defend yourselves. And that I do advocate a strong defense. Because if you don't have a strong defense, you're going to you're going to be the kid on the playground the bully takes the candy from. You don't want to be that kid as a nation. That's like Ukraine or Moldova, which may get hit next. So, or Hong Kong, in the case of China. So, experts see conflict between Russia and NATO and Arctic in the next couple of years. Well, in case you hadn't known, the United States claimed extension of its territory around Alaska and the Arctic. Not nearly as extensive as what Russia did, claiming everything all the way up to the North Pole. But Russia says, well, we're not going to recognize it, and China, of course, goes along with Russia. I don't think this is talking about that specifically. But look, Russians have more icebreakers in the United States. We have Alaska. We don't have hardly any Coast Guard covering all the shoreline of Alaska. We've barely got any Coast Guard up there at all, like 1 or 2 ships, maybe 3. Whereas China's got a very extensive Coast Guard, and China actually has more ice cutters than we have. And China's not an Arctic nation, so we've dropped the ball on a lot of stuff. Bio, it may be, Tom. Well, we may have already seen it, and there may be more to come. So, what's that stuff on the bug that takes out everybody, or the rats anyway, the humanized rats they've been experimenting on? War with Russia, that's another article, same thing. Why the Arctic? Is it going to wait for that? I don't know, guys. But here's the thing. We're running out of ammo. U.S. is dispensing munitions to Ukraine and Israel faster than it can be replaced. yet we're looking at getting involved with everybody under the sun. How are we supposed to keep doing that, guys? But what if America runs out of bombs? Now, guys, we have all our sexy high-tech stuff that we like to brag about and are good on limited engagements. We're using that stuff up real fast, shooting down Houthi drones in the Red Sea and having no apparent effect. But the real war is usually won by dumb artillery, dumb bullets. I mean, just plain lead. Lead that's put to a high velocity by powder, low-tech stuff. That's what wins in the long run, and we have very little of that. Hey there, my veteran sister, pagan prepper. Yeah. So you got to be able to throw lead. You got to have a lot of lead if you're going to win a war. Just plain dumb lead. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of it. We don't have that. We put all our money in the smart devices, and that might be all well and good for opening rounds of something, but it don't carry the day in the long run. We just don't have enough of it. It costs too much money to make that stuff, and it takes too long to replenish it. We just don't have it. So, hey, Colorado Jen. So, yeah, here's a defense minister here warning Europe, we're in a very dangerous position, pre-war era. Well, this is Donald Tusk. He's a prime minister of Poland. And yeah, here he is again, Donald Tusk, the real threat. He's saying, hey, we're not ready for it, and it's coming. Well, yeah, they should have woke up to that earlier. They've been totally relying on the United States, but we're done running out of ammo, running out of money. We're $34 trillion in debt. And we're just finding there was an article, I didn't bring it up here, but I just saw an article that says we're more in debt than we thought we were. The debt's actually higher than we thought. It's been going up fast. They've been squirreling money away to send it over there every way they can come up with, and it's breaking our bank, guys. So what are we going to do about it? And why is Europe don't need to be so reliant on America anymore? But there may be a counter to that. But we've already got. Well, I'll show you here in a minute. Hang on, guys. What did I say? Oh yeah, Russia just launched this, a couple of days ago, big barrage of missiles into Ukraine. They're hitting their energy systems. As you know, for a long time they kept their hands off the Ukrainian grid. They attacked a lot of stuff. They weren't attacking it. A lot of people thought it was because it was needed to run the pipelines that supplied Europe with gas through Ukraine. Of course, Europe shut all that down. And so there's really nothing to lose from the Russian standpoint in that regard at the moment. And right now, Ukrainians are attacking Russian refineries left and right. And the refineries are the bread and butter of Russia. It's what's fueling their economy. So they are now launching into the energy infrastructure of Ukraine, big time. So, it's tit for tat. The slugfest is getting a lot more intense. Colonel Cole, how you doing? Tornado outbreak predicted from Ohio to Alabama, high risk for Tuesday to April, 50 years after the super outbreak, 3 to 4 April 1974. I remember that well, day of killer tornadoes. Yes, I'm going to cover that in a little bit, but this is absolutely true, guys. So you better have your weather awares on. That's one of the things I opened the video with here. So here we are. So it is getting very intense. Of course, Biden asked the Ukrainians not to hit the energy infrastructure refineries in Russia because it's driving oil prices up. He's really concerned about Ukraine winning until it comes to threatening his reelection. And so in that case, he'll change tunes. So, but Zelensky is here trying to use everything he can to get another penny and another bullet out of us. He's warning Ukraine will have to retreat as Russian forces outgun them 6-1. But they're probably going to retreat anyway. After they've failed to get behind the Russian forces when they broke through the line, I said they were done. That was a huge, colossal failure in my book. And I've always said time is not on Ukraine's side. So we're getting thunderstorms now. Yeah, and up in Arkansas, I'll bet. So, yeah. I bet you are. So we'll look at that in a little bit, guys. So this is I don't know, guys. This is a bad situation over there, and it seems to be dragging us into it, whether we want to go or not. But how do we fight? We're not even set up to fight, but in one theater now. We're running our ammo out. We're engaged with the Houthis. We're possibly getting into it with Iran. We got all kind of stuff pulling us toward Ukraine, and there's China, and there's North Korea. So our hands are full, guys. We can't cover all this stuff. We need to make some really important choices. I don't see any great leadership coming out of the Beltway toward making key strategic choices, to picking priorities for what we need to do as a nation. If any, maybe we just need to pull out completely and protect. We need troops on our border. Anyway, guys, devastating true extent of the Russians' Blackfeet. Yeah, their Blackfeet has been damaged very extensively by Ukrainian drones, because these ships are big targets. And they don't have all the missile defense assets that American ships have. So they've been getting taken out by Ukrainian drone boats, aerial drones and missiles, and they've taken a big hit. But with the overwhelming forces, ours could get saturated and take big hits too. So don't think we're immune. A moment of black smoke after a Russian plant explodes into a fireball. So now they're going after more than just energy structure. This is a factory in the Ural Mountains. I can't pronounce that city, but it's a heavy machinery factory. It's Yekaterinburg. I don't know. They got a berg on the end of a city, and they use berg in Russia. Interesting. I thought that was an English suffix, berg. But anyway, whatever. Maybe that's their English name for it. I don't know. Now they're saying Poland may intercept Russian missiles, because a lot of them, are flying through a little bit of Poland on the way to western sides of Ukraine. Well, that's another thing that could escalate this war and get NATO involved. So we're just aching and breaking. One little misstep and we're there, and we may find ourselves in a nuclear slugfest. Now, Ukraine is trying to fortify Kyiv, similar to the fortifications that they eventually broke through. They're put up the same time. They say this is the dragon's teeth. If it really didn't look like in a cornfield, you expect to see trenches too for the tanks to fall in. I'm not seeing any photographs of the trenches, but the dragon's teeth would at least slow down tanks from the other side and make them more susceptible to attacks from drones and missiles and other such things. But Russia's got a lot more of them to expend than Ukraine does. So it might be that, unlike Ukraine, they could actually break through and keep going. Now, it's been said that Russia's just built a new rail line inside of the territories they hold in what was known as Ukraine, in the Donbass area, which Russia's now claimed as part of the Russian nation proper. Now, what I've told you guys often is that, unlike the United States, Russia depends on their railheads to supply their artillery, all their ammo, their rounds. It all comes by rail. They're not using trucks like we do. It's rail. They're very rail dependent, which makes them vulnerable to certain kinds of attacks. But what I said that the Ukrainians should have done last summer or fall, when they finally broke through the lines, for their standpoint, they should have went straight for those railheads and or done a rear flank around the Russian troops. They didn't either. And that's going to cost them. It may cost them the nation of Ukraine, because when they failed to do that, that was a major failing. I guess they just ran out of steam. Russia's got a lot more tanks to expend. They got a lot more people to expend. They punch through, they may keep going. What I understand, Greg, is why they're asking for donated blood in the sweep before 4/7, including RC. What's RC? Well, you need blood for emergencies. You need blood for military actions. So who's asking for the blood? Is this over there, here at home? I don't know. What do you Cuban Nurse Prepper, tell us more. Of course, a lot of other prepping channels made this a headline. I didn't put it up front because this ought to be something you already know. I mean, this suddenly they're acting like this is news. An expert warned millions of people would die in just minutes if a missile launch was detected. It took an expert. Hey, you know, this ain't exactly rocket science, even though it's rockets. Take it from a rocket scientist. Jeez, guys. This is something we should all know already. Why is this news? This blows my mind. And a lot of other channels have reported this as they did a whole videos on this. And okay, maybe that's needed because maybe people are just forgot about it. I don't know how, but you know, I take things for granted, and it doesn't mean that everybody else understands it because I guess I am a rocket scientist. The cities will be devastated. Our strategic weapons centers will be devastated. I saw another video where somebody did a prepping video, and they were pointing to alternate bug out locations in the United States. And one of them was right near Minot Air Force Base. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I'm not even going to watch this video. What kind of knucklehead is going to do a video and show suggested bug out locations, and they put pins on strategic weapon areas where it's going to be the primary targets? You don't go there for your bug out, guys. Hi, Greg. Why are they going to fire missiles in an eclipse? Oh, it's to test the ionization, because the ionization in the atmosphere is different. I might do a video on that on Galactic Greg soon. They've done it before, so that's nothing new. It's not going to cause the end of the world. It's nothing to be alarmed about. They did it before. These are sounding rockets. They're not really going to make any change to anything. So don't worry about it, guys. I'll do a Galactic Greg's video on that. So France to ditch military equipment despite massive new arms forces agreement. Yeah, they're ditching. I talked to this a little bit before. They're ditching stuff that their army would use. They're going more in favor for cyber war and nuclear warfare. It's like, excuse me? Maybe this is needed. Maybe Macron hadn't got the memo. Yo, Macaroni, do you know this? Jeez, I guess he does. But, you know, I guess they think, well, we lost Imagine online. You know, the thing we got's nukes to keep them as a deterrence. Yet he's going over and negotiating with Xi Jinping right now. So, you know, one of the things that a lot of Americans have taken for granted, I've seen other videos talking about how we'll win against the Chinese, that we'll win because NATO's going to come in and back us up if we get attacked. This guy here, Macaroni, has already said that, hey, in the United States, problems with China is not our problem. So why is their problem to Ukraine our problem? You see what I'm saying? Why is their problem with Russia and Ukraine our problem if our problems with China is not their problem? So Macaroni, forget about it, buddy. Actually, he's no buddy of mine. He's from the house of Klaus. Battlefield demands will spark AI race or reduce spark AI. Yeah, they're actually using artificial intelligence now in the drones. Some people, you know, have said, you know, well, you know, if the day comes that we're using AI for our weapon systems, it's already here. And the military competition is ramping that up. You know, we got these politicians here in the United States saying that, well, we need to govern AI so it don't come get us. Well, if we shut all AI down in the United States of America, China's still developing it hand over fist. It's not like we can stop it. There's nothing we can do. We can, hey, Xi Jinping, would you play nice? You know, oh, yeah, I'll play nice. Bam, hits you over the head. You know, look what they did. They'll sign the Law of the Sea Treaty and totally ignore it. They'll sign a treaty with Great Britain ensuring 50 years of peace and hands off with Hong Kong and then move their forces in. You see, no treaty, no agreement with a communist country is worth the paper it's written on. As soon as the ink's dry, it's probably invalid. It's only good as long as it serves the purpose of the other side. See, China knows we tend to be law-abiding, but they do whatever the heck they want to do whenever they want to do it. So there's no agreements that we can count on with them that's going to help us. That I assure you guys. I'm going to read the chat room in a minute here, guys. Oh, Red Cross offers to give you T-shirt for dying and new movie John and the Gazilla. That's what you get if you go there. Wow. Yeah, thank you, Pagan Nurse. I'm Pagan Prepper, for asking people to subscribe. She's also got a website she shared earlier, guys. All right, guys. So U.S. military says it destroyed Houthi drones over the Red Sea in Yemen. But yeah, we're not stopping them. We're playing whack-a-mole over there. They just keep firing. Ever since this conflict started with us firing at the Houthis and Houthi drones, what I told you guys weeks ago was still true. It's the same story every day. They fire drones, they fire missiles, we shoot some down, some get through, we hit the Houthis, and then like whack-a-mole, they pop up somewhere else and fire some more. We didn't even slow them down. But what we have done is we've wasted a lot of our systems that we might ought to have held back for China or somewhere else. Because, guys, the Red Sea is basically shut down for all intents and purposes. So what are we doing over there? What are we accomplishing? I don't see that we're accomplishing anything other than wasting our ammo. Unless we really wanted to go into Yemen and take out the Houthis directly, but we can't afford to do that when we're dealing with Iran and China and everybody else. We just need to back off and say, that Red Sea's gone. Egypt, you're losing all the money. You deal with it because they're losing a lot of revenue. Who's hurt? Europe. I mean, it hurts the world because the entire supply chain is strained now. A lot of trade that went through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal is not going through. And the Panama Canal is experiencing a drought. And now we got shipping ports in America that can't get ships in and out. So the supply chains are getting stressed. Very much so. Maybe they're expecting problems here. Maybe that's why the Red Cross is asking for blood. What's coming? We don't. Maybe somebody knows more than we do. I just tell you guys to be prepared, to be ready for the worst. Pray for the best and hope for the best and prep for the worst. That's the best you can do, guys. Anyway, in North Korea, not to be left out, they're firing more missiles and making things rattle in South Korea. So, they may make a move when all this when the balloon goes up, which is a military euphemism that Pagan Prepper would be well aware of. When the balloon goes up, you can expect a lot of mayhem to initiate. It may be the opportunity, the distraction. A lot of other players have been wanting to make their moves. And some of these people that are making moves initially may be banking on those guys making moves. They may have backroom agreements on this, guys. I don't know. Anyway, well, in the midst of all this, the Biden administration and the Navy's decided to slow down the production of our aircraft carriers. Whilst we are facing a threat from China, and China's building new aircraft carriers and ramping that up, we're ramping down. Could this be because somebody in the WH got some moolah through the Dragon Country? I don't know, guys. The congressional website said they did. Are we being set up to not do well? I don't think at least the lower level brass in the Navy wouldn't sit well with that. I don't know what's going on here, guys. Maybe it's because we spent so much money and sent so much stuff over to Ukraine, and we're spending so much stuff in the Red Sea. I don't know. What's the basis for this? They like spending money, that side of the house does. It's amazing to see they slow down on something critical like that. Al Clan, we love all spiritual folks. We will be updating our site this week, as we have a Christian shaman that teaches as well. There you go. All right, so Elbridge Colby thinks the United States military is dramatically unprepared to defend our interest in Asia. Knock, knock. I think you've been hearing that on Green Gregs and Civil WWIII News for quite some time. Last week, America learned the first time the U.S. troops are permanently stationed on 2 islands in the Taiwan Strait. Yeah, we're out there. And with the drumbeat of the headlines, yeah, we got troops there on the very front lines, the very forward islands. It's right next to China. So if Taiwan gets hit, we're likely to lose a bunch of people. I think I had a number somewhere, how many people we actually have in Taipei, capital city of Taiwan. I think it's 2,300 2,000. It may be more. It might be off by order of magnitude. Maybe it's 23,000. I think it's 2,000. All right, guys. This is what Colonel Cole's been warning us about. You still in the house, Colonel Cole? We've got some weather coming to the eastern seaboard of the United States. It's right now in Arkansas, as Wise Owl has warned us. And let me put it on the tornado here. Come on, don't go off of it. Stay on it. Everything in the yellow hash lines is a 10% risk of a tornado within. Oh, why is it doing that? Stay here. It wants to move around. Everything in the yellow hash line here is 10% risk of a EF 2 to 3 to 5 within 25 miles. And you got a 15% risk in this red zone here. 5% way down here. Now, this is, according to Colonel Cole, the same setup we had in 1974. I was 14 years old. I remember that outbreak. I remember it well. I remember playing with my next door neighbor's kid in a barn loft and a hay loft, and hailing like crazy on top of the roof hours before the tornado outbreak started in proper. So, yeah, buddy, it can get really serious, guys. Anybody in this region, it could get worse. Just stay weather aware. I mean, even if you're out here in a 2%, 2% ain't nothing. That means you still might see a tornado. Even in any of these colored regions, there's a chance for tornadoes. I'm glad here it's as low as 10%, but I wish it was 0. That would be a whole lot better. And it looks like we'll play it through about some of the coverage I've seen. It looks like we're going to have storms that are segregated. That's the kind where they can spin up and do the worst damage. 3 promos, okay. So let's come on over here. Lots of earthquakes. Look at all this activity. All across Texas, along the San Andres, all through here, up on the at the Juan de Fuca Plate, up in Alaska, Siberia, Hawaii. Lots of earthquakes right now, a very large number all at once here. There's a fresh one in Japan. Let's see, Japan has got a 5.9. That's a pretty serious rumbler there. Look out here in the Pacific. There's a 5.3. Aftershock that's 4.5. Look down here in Chile. 3 big rumblers there. Peru. But man, right up. Some people think that there's some kind of subsea volcanism going on around the Juan de Fuca Plate. I don't know why I always call it sand. It's Juan de Fuca Plate here. Because they've been having quite a swarm of earthquakes here in this area. But just look at all this. Gyres, California, Mena, Nevada, Cedar City, Utah, Tilio, Wells, I don't know how to say, California, White City, New Mexico. We see them there a lot, White City area. This is going to be Texas. Stanton, Texas. This is also Texas, further down south. Pleasanton, Texas. And all up and down Alaska. These are inland here. Susitna, I don't know how you say that. Ferry, Alaska. Of course, you always have a lot of earthquakes in this area around Fiji and Tonga area back in here. Kind of quiet in Indonesia right now, quiet in Europe. So a lot of the areas we see them are quiet, but just concentrate along this arc right here for some reason. Siberia. All right, guys, that's over close to Alaska there. So, space weather. That sunspot, AR3615, is fortunately went on the far side of the sun. This has been photographed by the Mars rover. This is a photograph it took. It don't have a high resolution camera. The fact that it can sit means this thing's really big over there. Let's hope it don't grow more. I hope it diminishes before it turns back around our way, because that sunspot's been quite active. But we do have a G1 class geomagnetic storm warning for the 4th of April. And that's, again, a G1's minor geomagnetic. Power grid's weak. Power grid fluctuations can occur. Minor impact on satellite operations possible. Migratory animals may be affected. Aurora commonly visible at high latitudes like Michigan and Maine. Aurora's not appreciably strong right now, but well, I don't know, that's pretty good aurora. So I don't know if Arnold, if you can see this and where you're at. I don't know if you're having clouds or not. We'll see in a little bit. Alaska's got it pretty strong. All right. Well, it's amazing with these rocket launches to leave behind be seen. That's a SpaceX rocket there. Beautiful plume. Those plumes expand like that when they get up at real high altitudes. With the air pressures low, the plumes expand a lot more up there. And that's just what happens with these rockets. It's interesting, though. All righty, guys. It's springtime. You know, when it all goes down, you better consider seeds. And right now is the time to get them. Get them while the getting's good. You may not be able to get them soon. Get the kinds that you can plant, harvest your fruits, and get the seeds out and replant them, because you may not be able to go to the store anymore. A good source for these is True Leaf Market and Eden Brothers. They got non-GMO seeds. For this, use my links. I don't have a discount code. Use my links for these and Eden Brothers. And weather. Here's what we're hearing about. Arkansas storms. Look in Missouri, guys. They're here at the northwestern corner of Arkansas, Missouri. And it's just current. Let me hit the refresh button, make sure we got the latest here. Oh, it's already moved. It's heading east, heading toward Indiana and Ohio. And it was pretty strong earlier in Texas and Oklahoma. It's been moving up. All right, guys. Just because of the tornado warnings, I'm going to play it forward through. We're going to zoom in on this area right here a little bit and play it forward just a little bit through tomorrow at least. So you guys can get a notion of what you might expect. This is one model. This Tuesday. All right, right there is what we're worried about. So these don't look that heavy, but when you got a lot of little bitty small cells in here, those are the kind that spin up the tornadoes. It's really warm here. The humidity is high. That's a perfect setup for storms. There, Memphis 70. Yeah, we're talking about hitting 80s down here tomorrow. So see these things coming through. But this area, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, here, northern Michigan, even Wisconsin may have some bad storms. And it's down in South Alabama, Georgia. Then it's going to move out the eastern seaboard through Washington, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and on up by Thursday. Anyway, I normally cover this after the news, but this is part of the news today because of the weather cycle we're dealing with. We can bring it back to current. I'm going to stop the share. I don't think I'm going to go through everything any further because it's almost 4 a.m. What I will do is check out the chat room, see how everybody's doing. Alaska Soul says, Greg what? The problem with science is some are saying a lot of things and some are saying no. Well, scientists disagree. To be honest, there's a lot of disagreement in the scientific community. But the scientific method, if followed, should be that all hypotheses isn't a guess, it's based on scientific information. Just because you got an idea or a hunch, don't make it a theory or even a hypothesis. Hypotheses should be based on solid science and tested. And once you have it well tested, then it can contribute to something called a theory. Now, theories aren't just wild ideas either. Typically, now they can be disproven. Once you got a test result that doesn't go along with a theory, then you should go back to the books and rework that. It's not always the case, because there's a lot of other agenda in the fray here. There are organizations, there are people and companies that make money. What a scientist or an engineer may write down once it gets through the management chain might say something very different from what the scientist wrote. And some scientists, because they favor something, maybe they got a preconception, sometimes they got their finger on the scale. Then statistics. What did Mark Twain, Samuel Langhorne Clemens tell us? He says there's lies, damn lies, and then there's statistics. I've heard statisticians, when somebody was wanting a particular answer, he said, "How much do you want me to sharpen my pencil?" They can cast things and look at them, different slices of things in different ways, and it's just like taking a book like the Bible. If you take a verse here and take a verse there, and you take a verse here and you take a verse there and you take a verse there, and you take them and put them on the table and move them around, you can tell any story you want to tell. You do the same thing with Moby Dick. In fact, you might remember the Bible code that a lot of people were citing. Well, some people did the same thing with Moby Dick and come out with very similar scenarios. So maybe if Moby Dick is something we need to pay more attention to. Greg, I have an article for you to speak about. An article? Okay, what is the article there, Alaska Soul? Let me scroll down. An article for me to speak. Greg, I had a stroke, still trying to recover. Oh, Jerry. Oh my gosh. I'll need to say some prayers for Jerry, guys. Jerry Gamble. That's rough. Has anybody read about the red heifer prophecy? Yeah, we talked about it on my last video over on Green Greg's that I did a couple night before last. So check that out. I did talk about it. They got 5 of them from Texas, and it's thought that these red heifers, they can't use them after they get 4 years old. They got them 2 years ago, so their age is getting on the verge. A lot of people think they built an altar somewhere, and a lot of people think they're going to try to sacrifice them by Passover, which is starting the 22nd of April and goes to the 24th of April. That's what a lot of people are expecting. This has only been done 9 times in history that they've sacrificed a red heifer, and it's for purification rituals, typically in advance of something like building the temple. And one of the Hamas leaders cited this as part of the rationale for what they did on the 7th of October. So the idea that this couldn't start a war is apparently maybe it already has. Yeah, that's right, Jason. 4 years old is the limit. They prefer 2 to 4, somewhere in that range. And apparently they're already on the verge of being outside that range. So something may happen on the Mount of Olives. Yeah, okay, that's what I'd heard. I didn't want to say it because I wanted to confirm it before I actually said it. But yeah, I just lost the chat room. Jeez. When you touch the screen to try to move it, it wants to take actions. It wants to act on everything. It's like, I'm just trying to scroll. Jeez. So the altar is on the Mount of Olives. And according to prophecy, that's where Jesus comes back and puts his feet. And then it splits in an earthquake. Anyway, guys, so there's a lot of stuff going on. This is going to, if part of now, there have been archaeologists that have made the case that the temple was not on the Temple Mount, that it was elsewhere. And they made a pretty good argument for it. But is that where they really want to put it? There's a lot of folks over there that want to take out the Alaska, not Alaska, Alaska, it sounds like Alaska, Temple of the Dome of the Rock, which is the second most holy site in Islam. I guess a second to the Hajj, where they believe that Muhammad rode to heaven on a white horse. So if they take that out, you can expect the whole world to go into flames over there. It would be a very incendiary event. And we may be heading to that. Of course, they would like to see it. Oh, it happened accidentally in the frail war. Maybe, I don't know, an earthquake, or who knows what the excuse would be. But in the Muslim mind, there's going to be no excuse. If that temple falls, it's war. Full up. Far more pitched, fever pitched, anything we're seeing right now. You linked the article many times. Okay, well, I'm not reading everything in the chat room right now. Okay, there's one. Live science. I'll click on that and see where it goes. Polar vortex is spinning backwards. Yeah, I've seen that article. So an atmospheric warming event caused a polar, well, what caused it to go backwards? So they're already making an assumption there. Record-breaking ozone spike that could impact global weather. Yeah. So maybe we'll come to that in a little bit. I have to pull it up over here. I've been seeing that for a while. I wasn't sure how that rated for the kind of stuff I cover on here. But yeah. Okay. So that is something else that's cooking, guys. I have to go and I can't go from this computer to showing it on this computer. Okay, guys. So hang on. I got to pull up the chat room here, which means I got to open yet another screen. Michelle Young's in the house. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. It's great to see you, Michelle. And of course, if I click it here, it's going to open in a browser that I'm not using to show stuff. So I got to copy the link again. Yeah, this is not straightforward. A lot of people sending me articles on my phone. What's on my phone don't translate to what's on my computer. It doesn't mean I'm going to be able to show it. If you use the Facebook Messenger or if you send it to me in email, that's better. All right. Up here. Of course, there's one reason I haven't brought this up. It's making a lot of assumptions that I think require some vetting. Let's see here. Now I got to get back to share screen. Bear with me, guys. This all takes a little time. Get back to my wrong place. Now I'm juggling too many windows here. I try not to do that. I got to go here to do share screen. I got too many windows I'm juggling over here. So I had to watch my chat over here. It just makes it simpler for me. That's not it. There we go. Here's the article that Alaska Soul's talking about. Well, has it done this before? What's the history of it? Is it going to bring us some crazy bad weather? It might. It's spinning in the opposite direction of what it typically does. What's the history of this? I don't know. Is it going to force crazy stuff with a jet stream? I don't know. Polar vortexes, okay. Polar vortexes occasionally reverse temporarily. These events can last for days, weeks, or months, caused by sudden stratospheric warming when the temperature of the stratosphere climbs as much as 90 degrees. All right, so this isn't the first time. So this does not portend the end of the world. It might bring more bad weather. I think that's what the supposition of this article is. And I see down here they're talking La Nina. Records show that these events are more likely to occur during El Nino or La Nina. We're currently in the midst of a major El Nino, so that could be the causal factor. All right, guys, so back here, just stay weather aware, guys. It's going to get a lot colder through most of the country after this storm's passed through. We're talking freeze and frost warnings, even here in North Alabama in the next few days. So look here, Utah, Salt Lake City is already 28, Denver's 30. Already seeing some crazy cool temperatures out there. Phoenix is only 48. So stop the share. I'm not going to go through everything tonight because it's already banging on 4 a.m. I haven't even gone through the chat room, just barely. We'll check those super chats tonight. I will check to see if I'm getting anything through my website that Michelle typically shares. There you go. Michelle has shared how to do it through my website. That's the proper way to go to it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, guys. She's not sharing some esoteric PayPal link. It's always my website. That's what she shares. That's how she does it. All right, guys, hang on. Hey, we got a donation. Michelle. I believe it's from her. Somebody was saying, well, the link don't work. The link don't work. Yeah, it works. I said it worked. I showed you the other night, but y'all were going to the link that Shaggy was posting. That link don't work. You got to use the one through my website. I don't know what that is. That one is PayPal, blah, blah, blah. I ain't never seen that. I don't know what it is. Michelle Young. Oh, she gave a nice one tonight. Michelle, she gave a $20 super chat through my PayPal, through my website. Salute to Michelle Young. Thank you, Michelle. Yay. Yay, Michelle. All right. So that does work. It's been working. But you got to use the right link. Go to my website if you want to do that. And I think they take something like 3%, whereas YouTube takes 30%. So that's always helpful to me. All right. So Michelle, thank you much. All right, let me see what else is in the chat room here. Oh, I don't want to move on me. Yeah, they've had control of Gaza Strip since 2007. Yeah, they're willing to sacrifice their own people to take out Israel. I mean, that's what this was all about. They did that with the full knowledge that doing that, they did it just to make Israel attack Gaza. How do you win when your response is to do what they want you to do? I mean, they knew that it was going to turn the world against Israel. That's what they wanted. And they already had the things in play to make sure that it would do that. And indeed, it did. So it's like a no-win situation in a terrible feud. Good. So Otis Taylor. Oh, Otis Taylor had a song from Andy Griffin's show. I used to like the whistling at the start of the Andy Griffin show. We can't even get some steaks out of the deal. What deal is that, Jason? Oh, the sacrifice. No, they burn it all to ashes. It's ashes they go for. Yeah, so that's God's steak. I don't know. Strikes me odd that the creator of the entire universe needs some beef smoke, but I said, Jesus, let this man see my writings. Yes, Greg, look over and see my writing. You talking about the link I just shared? All right, Jerry Gamble. Guys, we need to say a prayer for Jerry Gamble. California is formed by the North American plate moving westward, scraping the Pacific. But yeah, a lot of LA and a lot of whatever is west of the San Andreas Fault is part of the Pacific plate. Pacific Ocean plate being scrunched up by this collision of the two plates. And then it's a sliding collision because North America is sliding north as it pushes. Typically, in most places, that plate's being subducted. And if you get up north of California, that plate's been subducted on a North American plate, San Fuca plate, actually. Juan de Fuca. Why always we call it San? I don't know. San Juan de Fuca. Shelf rock. And the subduction zones they tend to produce the tsunamis. Good here in Texas, and it wasn't so bad there, Pagan. Okay. Pythus Oasis or something. There was a Python name and associated with some of the stuff coming up. I don't remember the details of it right now. New hot springs reemerge south of Reno. That means there's a hot spot underneath. You got a new hot spring, or is it new or a reemergence? You say new, oh, new old reemergence. Okay, Tom. We do free promos for folks that are in the Owl Clan. Yeah, I do believe in the First Amendment, big time. You know, the freedom of religion, freedom of speech. I support freedom. It's odd, you know, that little video I did on Javier Milei, all about freedom, right? I lost 11 subscribers and it got a bunch of thumbs down. It's like, really? If you don't love freedom, I normally tell you just get out of here. But no, actually, you need to watch my videos more than anybody. If you don't love freedom, I got a ton of videos about freedom. You need to go watch them. You need it more than anybody. What is it people got against freedom? What is wrong with folks? Okay, I'm not able to scroll all the way up. As farthest north I can get is a comment from Pagan Prepper, which says, talking about the Owl Clan and the Christian Shama. I'm talking about drilling instead of using explosives. So I'll scroll down from there. That is an interesting article, Alaska Soul. Thanks, Shaggy. Well, that's concerning that magma underneath it would be rising closer to the surface if you get a new hot spring. It's either that or water found its way back down to it. It's one or the other. Heat rock sometimes can be lifted out by a bucket loader. Be careful not to break it. Oh, Wise Owl's on the mountain. Good for you. Wise Owl, are you in the path of totality? I'm tempted to make a run toward Arizona, but I don't want to be on the highway with all the other millions of people. I like to find some place to hide for a day ahead of time. Maybe wait till the crowd clears before I head out. Please look for your props at the end of the week on the plan website. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to log into it. I'm awake. I'm here, says Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Sorry for waking you up so early. Yeah, well, it's just, I got so much open on this computer. I really can't open much more, and then just too many screens to manage. You know, if I had like some wealthier channels, if I had a big studio, lots of screens, and, you know, a real high powered computer, it'd be a piece of cake. I ain't got that. I just got one screen here and a laptop to back it up. Damascus is still livable. When it becomes ruined, heat. Yeah, that may come. That's something that's in the prophecies. Shoot, let's jump down. My chat room's jumping around on me. Can't seem to put it where I want it. Washington, D.C. needs a hot spring. Well, it's got plenty of hot air. I am in the totalitarian at Arkansas. Oh, good for you. Tried it. Love this crowd. Glad you do. Glad you're here. All right, Lord Dragon the Red. Well, I catnapped and back up, and every hour. Oh, bless your heart. Know why you're with us tonight. Somebody, don't just look at the weather forecast to plot a solution. No one hazard at any venture. Stupid people who don't put chains on their tires. Like to drive in snow. Otis Taylor has Annie Harris fiddle playing in the band. Oh, Otis Taylor was the drunk. That's right. Otis Taylor was the drunk who would check himself into jail when he had too much, and when he sobered up, and that's when he'd leave it. He didn't have to rest him. Mayberry was a great place. You know, somebody was causing problems, they'd just go check themselves in jail. Place where you could have a deputy like Arnold Fife. I mean Barney Fife. Pardon me, Arnold. I didn't mean that. Thinking of you and two or three other things at the same time. The weather for the 8th is rainy, cloudy for most parts of the U.S. except for the Northeast. That's true. We could go back and look at the eclipse cloud cover. We did that a couple nights ago. We'll see what it's looking like right now. I'll see if anybody's followed up with Michelle. We'll check that out. So far, it's just her. What? Oh, we got another notice. Oh, we got another one. Hang on. Let me go check see who that is. Kim Landry. Salute. All righty. Another $20. All right. Very good. Y'all made it my night. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. And salute Kim. I don't know which one you are on here. Maybe I shouldn't say the name. So that's not a name that I see on screen. But appreciate that. Very, very much. Right now, that's what I'm living on, guys. That's it. I think something has triggered in the hyperdrive. Oh, beer for all the great unwashed. All right. Arnold's telling us where he's from, Area 51. I have kidney problems until I got rid of eating plants. Oxalates are terrible. Well, yeah, there's the oxalic acid in a lot of greens. It's really strong in a lot of the green herbs like chickweed and sheep sorrel, what I call billy goat grass. It's got what's the other name for that? Everybody else calls it a different name. I always call it billy goat grass. So anyway, yeah, being a carnivore has its advantages. You know, I've lost a lot of weight lately, if y'all can't tell. So carnivore diet. That and some strategic fasting on occasion. I haven't ate today. I'll eat tomorrow. Are you drinking enough water for your electrolytes? Good question. So, all right. Get a quick get flare. Alan Mayer Jensen. Well done, sir. All about freedom. Thank you. I'm glad some of you guys love freedom. Annie Harris, fiddle player. I love good fiddle playing. Check your headspace and timing. That was very important on the M2. Yeah, you actually had a gauge to adjust headspace, and you put the barrel on. M2, Modus, the big military 50 caliber that's over 100 years old. It's the oldest weapon we still got in our system. All right, folks. You got to remember Cherry Gamble and we're dragging the red. Freedom, says Alaska Soul. Amen. Whew. I'm kind of hot in here. It's hot in here. It's just hot right now, hot and muggy. That's a terrible setup for storms, guys. Terrible setup for storms. So Take care of yourself, Greg. You're looking good. Well, thank you there, Carol. Appreciate that. So, who called Mel Gibson to yell freedom? We all should be yelling freedom. Amen. All of us. Anyway, guys. Oh, yeah. Loose. Yeah. Very loose. I could pitch a tent inside of my shirt here. Roll around. It's big enough for two. Yeah, it's huge on me. I'm not gonna buy a bunch of new clothes right now. I can't afford it. I'll be lucky to find gas to get back to Arizona. I thought at one time I had money to put in solar and put insulation inside my walls and put dry. No, I ain't got no money. I'll be lucky to get gas. I'm gonna have to sell something just to get gas to get back out there. If I don't have to go bankrupt, I gotta sell this place or get some other big source of revenue real fast. This place is costing me too much. That and the problems I have with the vehicle. Diabetic, insidious, can be triggered by many things from tumor to stroke, from oxygen deprivation, like sleep apnea. You have sleep apnea. Do you use a CPAP machine? If you got sleep apnea, you need to think about that. Kidney stone. Oh, Lord help you. Now, I tell you guys all the time, this is not a religious channel. I'm not here to tell you what religion to follow, but I do believe in a greater creator, and I believe in the power of prayer. Prayer and meditation. Most faiths adhere to the idea of prayer, sending positive energy, whatever you want to call it, meditation, or even just a moment of silence. Yeah, the van seems to be fine right now, Arnold, but once I got it away from the shysters, oh my God, it cost me a lot. So let's play for Lord Dragon the Red, and let's pray for Jerry Gamble. And of course, there's also my friend Dennis. I don't think he wants his last name mentioned, but my friend Dennis from Arizona, who's recovering from a stroke. And well, we should pray for the granddaughter of Granny Lana and her grandkids and the kids. We've lost her, but her grandkids are probably still in great need right now, maybe more so than ever. Natural remedies. Yeah, I do cover natural herbs and things like that on one of my herb videos. I do talk about that. There's a whole lot more that can be covered on that. There's a lot of channels that go deep into that. I've covered a fair bit. All right, guys, let's have a quick little prayer here. Lord Dragon the Red and Mr. Gamble in particular. And just see the ad, Shyster Transmission Repair. Yeah, that's who they are. Can't afford a CPAP. Let's pray 2 times over for Lord Dragon the Red. Amen. All right. All right, folks. We got a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah, I was going to do the clouds. I almost forgot. We're going to do clouds on the weather. We're going to go back and do clouds. Cloud cover. Let me do a share screen. Bada bing, bada bang. We're going to try to get a cloud cover forecast. That's our present cloud cover. We're going to come out here to, where's my whole scroll line at? This is the 8th, about 11 a.m. Oh, they're mostly down to the east here. Over me. That's right. So it shows some diffuse clouds over Arkansas. Not as bad as what I was seeing earlier. Texas is socked in. Whoops. Coming north in a hurry before. You know, that's on the 9th. Let's go back again. 8, we need to be about 2 p.m. actually. Right there. That's what they're forecasting right now. Which this changes a lot. So South Texas, your chances of seeing an eclipse are pretty puny. And out through here, there's diffuse clouds. You might get to see it if you're right in this area. Northeast is best, especially up in Maine where New Days is at. It's going right over her house. And well, she's going to be in some good weather. Alrighty, folks, and if you see the bluer colors is more rain, so if we can put it on precipitation, rain and thunder, see how that matches up. A little bit. Yeah, there's no hope for here of seeing anything at that point in time. On the 8th, if I want to see it, I got to leave these parts at least. Clouds again. There it is. Women. Oh, instead of amen. Oh, did we lose Pagan? She might be sawing some logs. Couldn't blame her. The current forecast is now sunny. It was rain. Oh, that's what it's looking like here. That's good. Wiseau, I might try to call you here in another day or two, Wiseau. Alrighty, folks. Everybody tell me where you're from. We're not going to go around the world because it's already 4:18. It's really late for us. And we want to, it takes me an hour just to process everything and get myself in a sack. And I've been going to bed way too late, way too much lately. Tell us where you're from, everybody. Let it roll. Everybody tell us where you're from. And we're going to call it a night. Supposed to snow there. Wow. Kim Possible, how you doing? It used to be a Kim Possible cartoon. She's like a computer savvy detective. We haven't had a lot of snow up here in Maine, but we'll get some this week. Yeah, all right. Missouri. Hey, Chew Weather, how you doing, buddy? Hillsboro, Oregon, over in West Wilkestan. Been goes over me. Hope, Ontario. Well, hey, from Ontario, Jane. Sprinkling, tried it. Searcy, Arkansas. Arkansas Rose. Well, I expect you would be from Arkansas. Remember to watch with the eclipse glasses. Yeah, I got a set over at actually in Love Truck Stop. So if you can go by Love's Truck Stop, they might have some. Michelle, Bella Vista, Arkansas. Yay, Michelle. Giving us from Northwest Florida. Well, you're up late. Denmark. We got Denmark in the house. Alan Mayer Jensen. Well, salute to you. Denmark's in the house tonight. Area 51, says Jason. Montgomery. You from Montgomery, Alabama, Carol? Down south of me. Wisconsin, almost Upper Peninsula, says Tom Wary. Upper PER, whatever that, UPER, whatever that is. I'm from planet Earth. For now, also reside at the top of the world in Alaska. The Great Land. That's what Alaska means, the Great Land. It's beautiful up there. Absolutely beautiful. Naturita, Colorado, from Colorado, Jan. Not trying to sit here and whine. Lord Dragon the Red, we're praying for you, buddy. I hope you get better. I hope you I hope you can get a CPAP machine. You really need one. 3 feet, they said. 3 feet? That's what you're expecting? Harrison, Arkansas. All right, very good there, Wazell. Southern Maine, Kim Possible. 72031 says trying it. Kangaroo Country. Hey, Rodney, we know you're in Kangaroo Country. Definitely that. North Central Texas, Lord Dragon. West Tennessee, Marcia, you're not far from me. I drive through that direction sometimes, so I'm heading out to Arizona. All righty, folks. I think we need to call it a night or a night, whichever it may be. So I want to thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, Kim. Is that Kim Possible? Thank you, Michelle. Kim Possible, are you the one that gave me the super chat? Some Kim. Let's see here. Make sure I don't have another one here on within my website. All right. Whoops, it's rebooting. Ah, it wants my password. Hang on, guys. Oh, I spelled it. Okay, how come I'm not seeing my transactions? Let me tell you what I want to be at. There it is. All right. Yeah, thank you, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods, for all you do. And you've shared a lot of links tonight. I appreciate that, all of you, or each and every one of you. And Cheerweather, you take care. I guess you'll be watching Weather some. Cheerweather, remember him in your prayer. So he's got some challenges. I'm not going to talk about him, but he's dealing with some tough times, guys. So say a prayer for Cheerweather. I should have mentioned him. You want a pet kangaroo? All right. So thank you, everyone, for watching from the bottom of my heart. Please share my videos. Share them wide. Trident. Hey, Trident. Salute to you. Thank you, Trident. Appreciate that very much. So everyone have a wonderful night, a wonderful morning, good day, whichever it is you. I want it as a pet. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you did. Thank you, Kim Possible. Yay. So salute to you, Michelle, Trident, 642. Anyway, guys. So to one and all, a good night, good day, whatever it is in your part of the world. We're worldwide. We got people all around the world here. That's a great thing. We're one big, happy family. Just remember this, and that is the case. All humanity is one family. We get all too divided, and we really need to find ways to come together. So no matter, there's good people from every race, color, from every religion, creed, from every city, shire, every neck of the woods, every nation around the world. You'll find good people anywhere you go. We just need to find a way to work with that and not let leaders all stir us up against each other, so-called leaders. I think we need some different leaders. Anyway, 424 here now. Oh my gosh, David. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Now for some coffee and brownies, and I'll take a swig of coffee to that. Chill out. As Rex says, always be the change you want to see. And like I say, as light dispels darkness, love dispels hate. Shine your love light into the world. Thank you all for watching.